instruction, golf news, equipment, travel, interviews, course profiles, and more. Your weekly fix of all things golf is about to begin. It's the Flagstick Podcast with your hosts, Jeff Potter and Scott McLeod. Welcome in, everybody, to the latest edition of the Flagstick Podcast. I'm Jeff Potter. He's Scott McLeod, as we are each and every week that we broadcast this podcast for you. That part never changes.
Rarely.
The Flagstick Podcast is presented by Golf PEI, Golf Prince Edward Island's premier Canadian golf destination, boasting the most number of golf courses per capita in this great country of ours, with over 400 fairways closer than you can imagine, top-tiered accommodations, and exquisite culinary experiences. It is the easiest golf vacation you will ever book, so book one at golfpei.ca. Hopefully you're following across all social media networks, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. And please subscribe on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. We really do encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us and click the notification bell. Make sure that you never miss a single episode of this great podcast. Other great content is going up as we speak.
Yes,
so yes, we'll talk about that really quickly a little bit later on, but good. subscribe to that. Well, here we are. It's Golf Expo week, as the local side of things, the regional local side of things. It is Golf Expo week, Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo, kicking off.
Does that kick off the golf season?
No. The golf. Look at
it's
you can't. Here's the thing with Golf Expos, and just to preface some things for people before we get too deep into things. We'll have an interview with Greg Chambers of the aforementioned Golf Expo, the NGCOA, to talk about the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo in the second half, in the back nine of this great podcast. The front nine, we're just we're gonna catch you up on everything that we can. You're gonna listen to us talk, so maybe you'll hear more of us talk and less of us catching you up. Depends. I got a lot to say this week, so
really,
it might just be all me. You might just be able to go grab another coffee, and it'll just be me ranting on for 45 friggin' minutes.
But who brings you the front nine?
Well, that's the thing. So let's get to the front nine, because I want to start talking. The front nine is brought to you by Metcalfe Golf Club, a natural setting, a pleasant challenge. Golf season isn't far off. It certainly is time to start thinking about the season ahead. Golf at Metcalfe is a great place to start. Become a member, or get on the wait list to become a member, as I'm now told. Join one of the many leagues if you can find a spot in one, or get on one of the wait lists for that. And but game passes are always popular at Metcalfe, so hook yourself up with those. Save yourself some bucks on golf this season. Visit metcalfegolf.com for all of that great stuff.
And they just announced the details for their women's intro clinics for the start of the year. We just reshared that on X. So you'll check that out on metcalfegolf.com as well.
Lots of stuff to check out at metcalfegolf.com, and go see them at the Golf Expo this weekend.
For sure.
I'm sure there'll be a great show deal that you can snap up, as there always is.
See the gang.
Now, you won't see us. Technically, you'll probably see us.
Yeah.
We won't have a booth this year. We opted to not do a display. We opted to take the sponsorship, partnership, support role this year, and wear the badge and walk the floor. So you look for Scott and I. Scott will be there helping out Derek McDonald on the seminar stage with some instruction stuff on Friday, and be chilling around most of the show. I'll be there Friday afternoon, maybe Saturday a little bit too, just kind of wandering around, talking to people, seeing what's going on.
I'm looking forward to actually getting around to see everyone, because I think that's one of the things that we miss a little bit sometimes at the show. If you're there exhibiting, you don't get to have the longer conversations. You sort of sneak away from the booth, you go to have a few minute conversation, then you sort of come back. So it'd be nice to kind of visit a little bit longer with some people, get into some details of kind of, what they've got going on, and be able to share those with the audience.
Yes, there you go. So that's our involvement, if you will, with the Golf Expo. So more time to talk to you people.
Yeah.
All of you.
And if you're a listener to the show and you happen to see us, stop, say hello.
Yeah, please do. Tell us what you think of us.
I was
Be polite, don't be nice. Or I won't be nice back.
oh, stop.
Yes, okay.
It's all good.
So here's the deal. It's snowing out again.
I
And it's
saw you
supposed
guys
to
are supposed to get
snow.
snow.
It's supposed
Ugh.
to snow another 12 to 20 this
Yeah,
weekend, which is
yeah.
kind of sucky for the, could the Golf Expo
It's supposed
catch
to
a
be
bit of a,
decent tomorrow.
could the Golf Expo catch a break?
Yeah, but
Like
the thing is,
honestly,
too, if
it's
I
either
look,
like the last few days it's been nice and warm. The snow's been melting.
yeah,
Everybody's excited and happy, and then the Golf Expo weekend comes around.
but
Temperatures drop and it starts to snow.
to be fair, though,
Oh,
it's
please be
gotten
fair.
it's gotten earlier and earlier. Like, it's literally it's March 1st, February 28th on Friday, tomorrow or whatever, the first day of the show. The show used to be more towards, mid March.
So let's talk about that for a second.
No, I get it. I get there's other shows and stuff going on, and they have to work around some schedules and stuff. But
Let's talk
makes it
about
tough.
that for a second.
Sure.
Is the show too early? Because
Mm.
I've had this conversation with the NGCOA. I've had this conversation with golf courses. Now, a lot of them will argue that, will not argue. Their point that they'll make is that if the show were too close to the golf season, then it would make it very difficult for the golf courses to exhibit, because around the time that the courses are starting to get close to opening, they're at the
Right. They're
shops,
busy.
they're setting up the shops,
Yeah.
they're getting their machinery ready, getting their carts ready, getting the course ready. So they don't want to be doing shows
Yeah.
too close to when they're opening. At the same time, let's say for instance, the majority of golf courses, the early opening this year is probably going to be mid to late April.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, it's probably mid to late April.
Yeah.
And it's March 1st.
Yeah.
Is a month and a half, 2 months ahead of opening too early to, like, as far as the excitement level? Like, obviously people go to the Golf Expo. It's not like I'm sitting here saying that if the show were later, nobody's going to go. People are going to go because there's snow on the ground and people want to be around golf. Like,
yeah,
that's just the way
I think it's better than having it, maybe January or whatever. But I think the deeper into March, the better, the closer to the season where things are finalized as much as possible. Maybe staff is in place. But again, I understand the logistics as far as the golf courses. They're going to be busy in March. They're going to be doing hiring. They're going to be doing a lot of planning, ordering, stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess it's okay, but I guess the risk, of course, is things like weather. Are some people still away? Maybe they're not around for the winter. Hard to say. I mean,
would end of March would we not be into more warmer climate, snow melting, less chance of snow, and minus, like, we're supposed to get some cold temperatures this weekend too.
No, I definitely think there would be definitely think there would be a higher attendance, but there's also that risk, though, that we get that rare year that all of a sudden, mid-March, and all of a sudden it has happened where all of a sudden they're out, they're golfing. They're it's rare. Yes, I know. Again, there's lots of logistics that happen to it. Closest to the season as possible, yeah, for sure. I think the ones that are at the start of February, like the Toronto Golf Show was at the start of February, like that's
way early.
That's way early.
I mean, I know they golf in Toronto sooner than we do, but not this year.
No.
I mean, like, they're going to be later opening, maybe up in Niagara they'll be open a little bit earlier, but for the most part, like, if you're in Toronto proper, GTA, Newmarket, Brampton, all that kind of thing, it's a lot of snow there. So they're looking sort of the April opening as well this year. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I guess there's no
plan for that aspect of it. There's no perfect, but I guess that's up to the consumers to decide.
Well, yeah, I guess that is. I mean, you got to do it at a time when it's, venues are available to book too.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and again,
closer to spring, maybe some of those venues aren't available.
Yeah, we have to look too as well when you start to look at different areas, like Montreal show and stuff like that. They all can't happen on the same weekend because you have a lot of the same vendors.
Mhm.
They have the same staffing. People that are in US shows, for an example, they might be coming up, they may be doing other shows. So, that could affect it as
Yeah.
well as far as so yeah, we get it. There's
There's
lots
a
of different
sequence to
pieces.
it. I mean, a lot of them, there is a
Definitely.
sequence to it. Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Atlantic.
Hmm.
There is a sequence to how they do the shows, and Ottawa sort of has its week.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Okay.
It's happening this weekend,
Very
Friday,
good.
Saturday. I would like to see them go back to 3 days.
Mm.
It just makes it. I mean, again, they have the reasons. I'm not in their boardroom, discussing the finer points of running a golf expo because I don't want to.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, but there you go. Some other great news. Some other great news.
Especially for Jeff, but especially for our audience.
We after many, 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 many years of having flagstick.com and having it hosted, um, basically for those techies out there, the site has been hosted on the same web server for probably the better part of 15 years. And we've gone from shared servers to virtual private servers to where we're at, where we have been the last 10 years or so, 10, 12 years on a dedicated server. And for those that are frequent visitors to flagstick.com, we have a lot of crashing issues due to high load on the server.
Had
Yes, say had.
had.
We've just recently, in the last couple of days, migrated the website to a brand new server,
Mm-hmm.
very up to date, very fast, very high tech, current, with all the latest operating systems, software, processors, everything. My son Nolan, who is a computer tech, told me that when he looked at the specs, all he said was, "Damn, that's hot."
Nice.
I'm like, all right. I guess that means it's good.
Yeah.
He's got the seal of approval from the tech industry. So we are hoping, very hopeful, that this will finally um, solve all of the back end tech issues that we've had with the site going down and crashing under high load. That we're prepared. It's one of the downfalls, I guess, to having a website that you're constantly building and growing, and the
Mm-hmm.
traffic keeps growing year after year after year. And that's what's happened with flagstick.com. Is that we have so much traffic, and at particular times during the year, particular weeks, depending on what is released in what newsletters and things like that,
Yeah.
we can get us a real high amount of load and traffic on the server, and that has been bringing it down. Now we are 20 to 25 times faster, and we have about 20 times more memory on the new server. I know I'm getting tech with
Can,
everybody, but
can I get that? Can I get that 20 to 25 times more memory? So,
yeah,
yeah,
me
I mean,
too.
really, in the end, I mean, we know obviously people don't care how the sausage is made; they just want the sausage. So, so in the end, don't clip that. So in the end, what it means for our readers and our listeners and everyone is just smoother service. Stop.
Wow.
Easier access, as you said, less crashing, just easy for us to have a better resource for our community.
There you go. So there's a little flagstick.com update. Some good news. The Loyalist Junior Showcase is back.
It is.
It's going to be May 10th and 11th. And this is, we talk about this junior showcase every year, but this is like as far as junior golf tournaments go,
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah, I know. I had a parent last night who said it is just absolutely the best deal, and their
$100.
their
2 rounds of
14-year-old,
golf,
yeah, is playing in it. So
food,
yeah,
and a practice round.
yeah. Plus goodie bag. all
Yeah.
sorts of other stuff or whatever. Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's more details up at flagstick.com, but certainly this is, if you're a junior golfer, um, an up and coming junior golfer, especially the
Mm-hmm.
younger ones. Like, I know
Mm-hmm.
the older ones for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a great golf course, a great tournament to participate in. But for the much younger ones that
Yeah.
are just get like, this is super awesome. I remember, I keep saying this. I remember Brandon played in this when he was
Mm-hmm.
really young.
Yep.
You know, they played them up at the edge of the tees up at the edge of the fairway. They had
Walking
chaperones with them,
score. Yep.
walking scores that were there to help them find their ball. The little things that they do to make the experience that much better for the young ones, but still it's great for the older ones as well. Like, this is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great warm up event for the players, especially the older ones and stuff like that, to get those 36 holes of competition in for a great price. There's good support, and as you said, for the younger ones, for especially for ones that have never been in a tournament before, and it's
Yeah.
their first time to maybe play and have a tournament experience, and to have someone out there, not a parent, just somebody, that's a helper, that's a volunteer, that's not getting in the way, but they're there to assist them. So if they've got questions about their scorecard or where they should be playing from or how things go from an etiquette standpoint, this is just a great way for them to get introduced. And once they're comfortable, it makes it a lot easier for those kids then to go, hey, I want to play another tournament someplace elsewhere, just because they've had that comfortable experience.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
great event. Check it out, flagstick.com, or contact Loyalist Golf Club for more information about that. But you should. 2025 inductees to the Canadian Golf Hall of Fame were announced. Richard Scott, Jerry Anderson, and Charles Blair McDonald, two players and a builder.
Yeah, so great group. I've been kind of anticipating this to come out for a while. Richard Scott, if people don't know, he played golf at University of Georgia, but down from the Kingsville area, down near Windsor. He won to 3 Canadian men's amateur championships, which was fantastic. Jerry Anderson, unfortunately, is not with us now, but he was the first Canadian to win on the DP World Tour. He won in 1984. He won the European Masters, the Swiss Open, and then Charles Blair McDonald is a really interesting one. So Charles Blair McDonald, for people that are into golf architecture or into the history of the game, they'll know him. But he was actually born in Niagara Falls and then soon after moved to Chicago. But this is a guy who helped, well, first off, he won the first United States Amateur Champion in 1895. He helped establish the USGA. He helped bring the rules of golf from the RNA over to the US. He also developed the first 18-hole golf course in the United States at the Chicago Golf Club, and then went on to design a number of other ones. So he's best known as far as from a design perspective. And I know he's been, somebody that a lot of people maybe didn't realize was Canadian. So great group there. They're going to be, obviously Richard Scott is the one that's still alive, but the group will be inducted at the CPKC Women's Open later on this summer. And I will say we should have news quite soon about the Ontario Golf Hall of Fame as well, in the inductees for that. That ceremony will happen in May, but I know the phone calls have been made already to the honored new members for 2025, but not announced yet. So it will come soon.
All righty. So let's talk a little bit of TGL. Let's get caught up on that. I know there was some statements made during an interview during the broadcast with respect to the possible expansion of the TGL and the possible inclusion of women professionals on the teams.
Yeah,
which I think is great.
I
think it should happen. There should maybe have each team, if they're going to kind of expand it, each team maybe should have a woman professional from the LPGA on each of the teams, and they kind of do the little rotation that they do through the players. As far as expansion of the teams,
I don't know what
I don't know what numbers they are using. I don't know what logic right now is behind discussing even the possibility of expansion.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm trying to be as objective and as understanding of first year issues that this kind of thing has. I'm losing interest fast in I don't watch it anymore. I turned it on the other night just to kind of, I don't even know why I turned it on. I would think because I just passed, there was nothing else on. Mm-hmm. So I put it on to watch it. I watched a little bit of it, but it's still
Mhm.
just so like it just doesn't feel like something that is um
Well, they were hope.
exciting to
Well,
watch. Like,
here's the thing. It really depends on their metrics. So ESPN was anticipating and hoping that they would get to 500,000 viewers per episode as they went through. They're averaging just under 700,000 right now, so they're happy with it. Obviously, their sponsorship is and so forth. So obviously, that's why they're leaning towards it. So whether
mhm.
we like it or not, somebody is watching, and that leads to why it's moving forward. So that's the logic of it.
I get the logic. I mean, that's a business
Sure.
model, right? You follow the money. That's business. If the
Mm-hmm.
sponsorship's there and the audience is at a level where the TV broadcasters are comfortable and happy with
Mm-hmm.
compared to maybe something else that's on TV, then there's a lot of money behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that's going to dictate a lot as far as how much money is. I mean, you look at Arthur Blank, who's
Yeah.
the owner of the Atlanta Drive, who's also, you know,
Got a couple of
he's
dollars.
got a few bucks and a few other sports franchises that he's involved in there. So,
Yeah.
um, in the Atlanta area, he's extremely wealthy man. So,
Mm-hmm.
if Arthur Blank says that they're going to expand and add more add women professionals possibly in the near future, then sure, go for it. I mean, I'm just saying from my standpoint, having watched it a number of times, I still have a hard time with the big huge screen and the I just feel like I'm just watching golf pros hit golf balls. Like I don't see anything happening on the screen until, it's not like regular indoor golf. Like when I'm at Celtic Golf Center or I'm up at Falcon Ridge and I'm hitting balls into their screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's that distance from the ball leaves my club to the screen is so short
Mm-hmm.
that I see that transfer. It's almost like an
Sure. So you're a
instantaneous
little bit
thing.
more immersed.
Yeah. So when you do it on this big, massive screen, this big, huge stadium where it's really bright,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the ball hit the screen. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see that transfer from
Sure.
real to virtual
Mm-hmm.
and then beyond. It just is something missing, and I don't know what it
Mm-hmm.
is. It's just some kind of something with the experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
um, I do like the around the green stuff. I think
Yeah.
that's not that
That's
stuff is not indoor.
yeah.
That's not virtual
No,
golf. That's
no, and
not hitting into the screen.
that's definitely the star of the show.
Yeah.
I think being around there, and I was reading Ryan Barrath's piece today. He was down there on Monday or Tuesday, I guess, and got to see it live. And he's been critical of some of the technology. We've had lots of discussions as far as the technology and stuff like that. But yeah, he pointed out that obviously that's kind of the star of the show or whatever. So I mean, in the end, ESPN probably doesn't have a lot to show in those particular hours. They've got a lot of momentum going with a lot of different things. Can they sustain it? We'll see. But yeah, so at least they're making some changes, hammers and stuff like that. They
Yes,
changed
I
up some
like
of
the
the
hammer change that they made.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I
at
do
least
like
they're
that.
listening. I'm more interested now at this point. Like I could care who's in the playoffs and not in the playoffs or whatever. I'm definitely second screening it when I'm watching it. I'll texting back and forth with a couple of people talking about this or that. Probably usually about how bad Kevin Kisner is, some of the shots that he's hitting or whatever. I'm interested to see if they're going to do something different for the playoffs and the fact that are they going to change the hammer stuff? Are they going to actually add
Mhm.
some wind? They're going to actually add some other elements and what they're going to change for that. And that's the only thing I'm sort of paying attention to now. In the end, do I care who wins? No, not really. So I just want to hear the banter. It's something curious. It's something that again, it could be a second screen thing if I got a basketball game on at the same time and I have it on my flip channel or whatever, but it's not appointment viewing.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's
Yep.
kind of the way it is for me. I mean, I'll flip through a watch. There was nothing else on the other night, so I watched
Yeah,
part
exactly.
part of the match. But again, by the time I tuned in, it was already over.
Yeah, that's
I think
that's
that's
the
the
other
thing.
thing.
It's like
Yeah.
there's very few close matches where it's down to the wire. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
if I tune it in and I
I mean,
forget what the score was, but
they did a good job on what was the holiday Monday with the three events.
yeah,
I watched a bunch of them that day. All those events were pretty close. I think the one thing that's also come out of this as well is people are getting to know players a little bit differently. I've had a lot of people comment about Wyndham Clark, and they're like, "Man, this guy is." Yeah, they like him a lot
Mm-hmm.
more. They get to know him. Like he's, pretty reserved or whatever. Obviously, won a U.S. Open championship, but they didn't really get to know him, and they're kind of seeing a little bit of different side of them. And I think that's what people. I think that what people crave is they want that inside stuff, which is why we're about to talk about Full Swing season 3, and that's part of the appeal that people like about that
Mm-hmm.
is that that Full Swing on Netflix. People like seeing the stuff they don't normally see. It makes them they're curious, they wonder what the people are like, and they want proof of that. They don't want just speculation from other people.
Yeah, no, exactly. So let's talk about that. I Full Swing season 3. No, I have not watched any of it
I
yet.
didn't. I will admit, I didn't finish watching season 2. So
Yeah, no, I did watch season 2. And
yeah,
I don't know that I was really planning on watching season 3. But I probably will.
yeah,
I tend to binge watch, so
yeah. I
it'll be
watched
one
two.
of those things. Friday night.
Sure,
I'll
catch a
probably
bunch.
just fast forward through a whole bunch of stuff and
Yeah,
watch it all. But um,
I caught
I
two
mean, yeah.
episodes so far. I think they maybe people will like, especially that we know in Canada, they'll obviously like episode 2, which obviously involves it has Nick Taylor involved and Adam Hadwin.
Mhm.
As a little bit about that. I think so far what I've seen is a little bit different in the format than the previous year. I think the previous year they went really, really deep a little bit with some of the players. I think there's still some depth in this, but I think they kind of balance some things a little bit out, so it's a little bit more interesting and has a little different storytelling format to it. So we'll see.
Okay. Just time wise, I want to skip forward, Scott. I know there's
Sure,
some
whatever you like.
tour
Doesn't
stuff
matter.
to we could talk about, but
Yep.
let's skip forward on that. I want to talk about this YouTube.
Oh yeah, the Creator
The
Classic.
YouTube and the PGA Tour teaming up for the 2025 Creator Classic Series.
Yep.
So this sort of kicks off at TPC Sawgrass,
Mm-hmm.
March the 12th, which obviously is lined up around the Players Championship. Um, I want to. Like, what do you think about this concept of YouTube creators, social media content creators, getting involved with the PGA Tour and in you know golf events?
I think this is, I mean, there's lots of different ways to look at this or whatever. Obviously, the PGA Tour is aligning this way because they recognize the popularity of YouTube and these YouTube stars and the content they're creating. I don't know if this specific event is by itself uh, becomes all that interesting because the way they're doing the production. We should say the group that's doing the production of it is the same that does Full Swing.
Mm,
It's Chad Mum and their group, but this is a competition event between some of these YouTube creators. I think the secondary content that comes out of it, because all these people are all filming their own stuff at the same time, tends to be probably more interesting because you're familiar with kind of their formats. For the tour, they're just using it as a hook or a draw for the people that watch Brian Bros or Bob Does Sports or Grant Horvat or whatever. They're using that as a hook to say, hey, maybe we can get some eyeballs on that week and the fact that the Players Championship is happening. Not that the Players Championship should need help, but everybody has to keep continually marketing. You can't rest on your laurels. So I'm fine with it. Will I be locked in on watching it? Maybe not that day, not live or whatever. Will I catch a little bit later on? Maybe. Do I care about the result? No. Do I think it's smart marketing? Yes.
yeah, I'm
Your
kind of in
thoughts?
agreement there. Is it smart marketing? Yes. Am I going to watch it? Not likely. Will I grab some clips here and there at some point or another to see what happened and what it was all about? Sure. Am I disappointed that I'm not on the list?
Yeah.
Very.
I like the
I mean,
fact
I'm
that
looking at
they.
the list and I'm thinking, I mean, hey, Flagstick podcast,
Oh boy. Oh
come
boy.
on. I mean, I should be here.
I like the fact that they're doing multiple ones. Obviously, they did one last
Yeah.
year at East Lake. The fact that this year they're doing one of the Players Championship. They've got one coming in May around the Truist Championship, which is at the Philly Cricket Club, which is a really cool golf course. And then they're back at East Lake as well. So they've got 3 of them that are in here. I mean, it's a no brainer for these people because it's again exposing them to a slightly different audience for both
Hmm.
sides of it. It's just crossover collaborative marketing for sure. I mean, will it get? I mean, here's the plan. I think if you look at the audience for a lot of these people, there are a lot of 12 to 25-year-olds that watch this YouTube content that are not currently watching the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And the hope is that there's a bit of a creep over the fact that, hey, PGA Tour is, cool enough to be involved with these people, that, hey, maybe we should watch that a little bit too. So,
Yeah.
but
Oh, we'll see where it goes.
yeah.
Not a sucky idea.
But no, it's not terrible, that's for sure. So, I mean, getting these people involved, I mean, people should recognize as well that, they still have to put as much attention as possible on the players. This is a
Mm-hmm.
tour event. This is
Yeah.
just one of those secondary events, like all sorts of different events have, whether they have a celebrity pro-am or all sorts of different things, whatever they do to kind of bring eyeballs to the event, bring value to the sponsor, value to the tour.
All right. Okay, so a couple of quick things before we head out on a break.
Sure.
The Flagstick Academy series presented by Celtic Golf Center. The first tip is posted.
You got it.
So we have finished filming of the first group of tips, and editing has begun, and the first one is now posted.
Yep.
And you'll find those on the YouTube channel. You will find them on flagstick.com. Well, probably by the time this comes out, you'll find them on flagstick.com.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So there's that. And the other thing is Scott is off to do a travel piece in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention to all of the social media our social media network next week in Instagram and other platforms to see what's going on in Puerto Rico.
Yes, thanks to Discover Puerto Rico. I've got some fun things lined up. And just remember, there is a PGA Tour event there happening next week.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott's playing in it.
Well, no. I might be playing in an aspect of it, though.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
All right. Well, let's see what is in store next week from Mr. McLeod. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're going to play the interview that Scott did with one Mr. Greg Chambers of the NGCOA and the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo. Just a little preview of what's to come this coming weekend at the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo, and then we'll continue a little bouncing back and forth on a couple of things before we let you go for another week. So stay right there with us. You're listening and watching the Flagstick Podcast with Jeff Botter and Scott McLeod.
Hey, loser buys the first round. You're on.
On Prince Edward Island, we believe in playing your game your way. From the first tee box to the 19th hole and beyond. With over 400 fairways waiting for you, there's always another reason to golf Prince Edward Island.
All right, well, welcome back to the Flagstick Podcast with Jeff Botter and Scott McLeod. It is snowing buckets outside right now. I'm serious. It is like, okay, so it's Thursday, not Friday, because this comes out on Friday. Well, it might come out today, but it is like the largest snowflakes. Like
great,
crazy big snowflakes. I don't know how much is actually going to fall or what have you, but it is certainly bucketing. It is
lovely.
Bucketing. Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't keep me from bucketing my way up to Ottawa tomorrow, but we'll see.
You should be fine. Let's get to the back nine presented by Celtic Golf Center with two awesome locations, Kempville and the brand new location in Kingston, both featuring multiple state-of-the-art TrackMan sims. Your golf season never has to end. Enjoy a round of golf with friends, join one of the many leagues, get fit for some new equipment, or take a lesson. Celtic Golf Centers have got you covered because it really is all about the golf. Visit CelticGolfCenter.com to learn more, book tee times, or to sign up for a league. So just to kind of expand on that, we just talked about the instruction series presented by Celtic Golf Center, posted on flagstick.com now, and we'll be posting those every week now. All filmed at Celtic Golf Center in Kingston.
Yeah, they have been, that's for sure.
So there you go. Okay, as promised on the back nine, we were going to play the interview that Scott did with Greg Chambers, who is with the NGCOA, National Golf Course Owners Association, and of course the main guy, the big cheese, the head honcho behind the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo this weekend. So Greg's going to share some insight into the show, what's happening, what you can expect, and we're going to play that right now. So without further ado, this is Scott McLeod, our very own Scott McLeod, interviewing with Greg Chambers of the National Golf Course Owners Association at Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo.
All right. Well, we're welcoming back a friendly face here. Greg Chambers from the NGCOA Canada, getting ready for another Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo. Hard to believe. Yeah, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. This is a busy time of year. We're almost at the crunch time here, coming up Friday, Saturday. It's good. It's good. I was talking earlier, is that it's always good when sales are up. So we have over 75 exhibitors this year, which is a lot more than we've had in the past, which is exciting. The golf industry is still booming. We can talk about that for the whole time.
Yeah.
That we thought there might be a little bit of a dip after the pandemic, but it's still climbing. Which is great. A lot of new golfers in the industry. That's probably the biggest. People are playing more. A lot of new golfers.
Yeah, I guess that's part of the thing. It's the show's been running for a long while, and it's highs and lows, obviously, as the industry, and it reflects the industry. But this is sort of an unofficial kickoff of the golf season. People are getting fired up, and as a result of it, you have your diehards. But as you said, you've got a lot of new faces as well. And we saw that last year. Just people, first timers coming to the show, never seen it before, getting to know golf courses that they haven't seen before. And it seems, I know, odd to us. We're so embedded in the golf industry, and we sort of know who everyone is and who the players are. So it seems sort of odd when people all of a sudden come to the show and they're like, oh, I'd never heard of that golf course. But this is part of the show itself. It's really a big showcase for the golf industry in the region and beyond, correct?
It is 100%. And a lot of the courses are our members here from the NGCOA. So there's a lot of conversations before and after the show. And the feedback was unbelievable afterwards. This is really what they're looking for, is new customers. It's great to see your regulars and people that come out and play once or twice a year. But they're looking for new customers. And one of our local courses said he had to run, I think it was about an hour and 10 minutes in a row, where his email database grew with all new emails. As he was entering it in, it didn't, autofill it kind of thing. It was all new people. They were new to the area, new to the golf industry, looking for different avenues, different places to play kind of thing. And there's a lot of questions, is that they're looking for golf courses. This is where they go. And it's funny you mentioned about that as the golf season starts, starting to melt today, which is great. Get rid of all that snow and people start to think about golfing again. They're not locked up in their house. Is that our marketing strategy is that the season starts now. The season starts here at the Golf Expo every year, right before the golf courses open up.
Yeah, so quickly with the details, and we'll remind people at the end, but it's at the EY Center. It's back at the EY Center. I don't know what year this is now, but obviously it's proven to be a great venue.
Yeah, it has probably a dozen years over there. It's great. We expanded from the OAC way back when, just for sheer size.
And the Aberdeen Pavilion before that.
Yes, exactly. That's right. The original Gim Patterson and Jeff Calderwood way back when. Yeah, we're looking at this Friday, 12 to 8 at the UI Center, and then Saturday, 9 to 5. Off like a Band-Aid, 2-day show. We used to be 3 years and years and years ago, but jam it into 2 days, and it's action-packed for 2 days.
Yeah, it does keep it fun, just keeps it busy. There's a lot of energy there. I think people will see that when they go, because there's lots of highlights, and we'll get into that a little bit with the stage, with demos, obviously with the booths themselves, lots of different things. What might be the highlights that you would consider, this year for the show?
There's definitely a lot to do. That's probably the biggest thing. And I would never talk about other shows kind of thing, but it's kind of quiet, 4-day shows, and you can see the people that are working 4 days. Their effort level may not be there, but it's 2 days, and I don't want to say it's a party, but it is a kind of a party. It's fun to be there. So I guess I'll start with the stage, one of our features, which I absolutely love, fellow PGA guys. So our Golf Jobs Canada teaching stage. We have the world long drive hitters are doing some seminars and sessions up there. You think you hit the ball pretty good until you see a 400-yard drive.
Sure.
Nowhere close to that. We have Derek McDonald, Director of Instruction at the Royal Ottawa, and head coach for the OVGA Junior Development Team. We have James Spearnick on Friday night, PGA Ottawa Valley PGA Teacher of the Year. And then we have a Ladies' Day stage takeover on Saturday afternoon. We have 1 to 5 Ladies' Day. So we have Sarah Andre Landry from Rivermead, Mia Saint Aubin from Swing Fit, and we also have another long drive competitor, female, Savannah Meyer Clement, is going to talk about ladies and hitting it further kind of thing. So
Nice.
definitely one of the big features. I guess the next one, we talked about the music, and the hot spot of the floor is the $10,000 hole-in-one. It's lively. I remember the first the first year we had it. You know, the exhibitors kind of looked at me, they're like, "Are you sure? This is pretty loud. This is what's going on." And then the buzz that it created, and the party atmosphere, and just people, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So it's a staple, and definitely one of the biggest features on the floor.
Yeah, I think that interaction is really important because, you know, as we know, a lot of people can stay home and look at information on their computer, but it's
100%.
different. It's different if they're going to a show that has some things that are happening live, activities, social aspect of different things that really gets people involved. You know, it gives them value, right? And I think that's where you guys have headed over the last number of years, is trying to get that interactivity more than anything.
100%. When we had to, during the pandemic, we went online. People thanked us for, you know, having something. But I've never seen people react when we opened up the doors after. It was hugs and kisses, and they were so excited just to be out and touching equipment and shopping and stuff like that. So it's definitely interactive. And that goes way back to Carol Ann, my predecessor.
Mhm.
We had talked when I was on the other side of it. Like, wow, we got to do some more exciting stuff and get them entertained, and not just having, you know, people walking around, you know, looking for a deal.
Picking up a brochure.
Exactly, exactly, and hope they come back with a 2-for-1 later in the summer.
Yeah.
Exhibitors are selling. They have interactive features. There's tons of contests, tons of games. Everybody's doing something. There's no booths just standing there hoping that you come visit them.
Right.
They're drawing you to them with different activities. So it's great. It's great to see. It's not an hour show. It's a 3 to 4 hour show when you come and visit.
Yeah, especially when you look at things like, you know, retailers and getting involved with that, coming and testing equipment. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we might see in that realm?
Yeah, so we have 2 giant retailers. We have the Cambridge Fashions and Canada Golf Outlet, 2 staples of the show every year. We have to tell people not to run when we open the doors at 12 o'clock and Saturday morning, as they're right to
Tackle
the
each other
retail.
for the deals, elbow
Well,
each other.
if you ever see the what is it, the Phoenix Open or whatever it is,
Yeah,
when
exactly. Waste management. Yeah.
people are running as quick as they can get there. We have our demo range this year. It's Mulligan Centre de Golf. So the newest and latest equipment, the demo range, testing and fitting. Yeah, it's definitely interactive, and definitely have those staples that we have for starting the season. So we have your local golf courses, but people want to touch and feel and try out that latest equipment.
And obviously, there's some travel destinations as well. I know I've been talking to Sammy McPhail from Golf PEI, and you know they're happy to be back. And who knows, maybe they'll have an oyster or two available. But why don't you share a little bit about some of the destinations that might be attending the show?
That's one of my top ones, is Sam from Golf PI, who I've got to know very well over the last year. Great courses out there. I can definitely recommend going there. So much so we're going back again this summer. So they're back at the show again, and they did bring their oyster guy with them. So there will be oyster tastings at their booth. So definitely check that out.
You can't eat the oysters from home, people. You have to get tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He'll walk you through it too if it's your first oyster, so no worries
Perfect.
there. Tons of that's probably in the exhibitor feedback. Sorry, in the attendee feedback. They want more destinations and stays and plays. It was a little tight for a while. Golf courses were so busy right after pandemic, but now they're coming back. So we have Golf PI, obviously number one, Black Bear Ridge, Shadow Broma, Rawdon, Mo Gabriel's back, and Smugglers, another top one. So some great stay and play packages.
Perfect. I like that. So, you know, obviously for people, you know, you don't want to go there and you just, you know, kind of wait in line, because there is a big lineup, usually first thing in the morning or whatever. How do people avoid that lineup? How can they go online and get tickets in advance?
So we definitely recommend getting tickets in advance so you avoid the lineup. It's not fun watching people getting in the front door and you're lined up for 20 minutes trying to get a ticket. So CanadianGolfExpo.ca. Go to that website. You'll see the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo tab. Click on that. Definitely, it's cheaper. It's $2 cheaper to get your tickets in advance, and it definitely avoids that lineup. You'll skip the line and head right in, kind of thing.
And you also have some incentives for some other times, and also for children as well, correct?
Yeah, there's Twilights coming at 6 to 8 on the Friday and 3 to 5 on the Saturday. It's kind of a 2-for-1 online. It's a discounted price when you get to the door. Not as good. Again, online will save you 20%. Can't say enough about getting the tickets in advance. And the giveaways. Probably the giveaways is probably the best part when you come to the show. So with your $11 ticket, you're getting a free green fee to Mont Ste. Marie, Lac Ste. Marie,
Nice.
Monday to Thursday. No questions asked, $40 green fee. You saved $30 right there. You're getting a ticket to the World Long Drive contest held out at Trillium, one of our partners.
Yes, endless summer. Yeah,
Great summer. Yes, Jody. The other one is the day pass to the Commissioners Open held here. Andy Rahathji, one of the organizers, over at Eagle Creek.
Yep. PGA Tour
So
America's
tons
event.
of stuff.
Yeah.
We also have at the entrance, once you get inside, you'll get a ticket to go visit the booth. Red Rooster is giving away 100 junior gloves each day
Nice.
for the first 100 kids coming in both days, as well as the Red Blacks are giving away 100 tickets total, 100 twosomes to a preseason game for the first 100 kids that come in as well.
That's
So
awesome.
lots of stuff, value added when you
definitely
pay your tickets.
Yeah, definitely worth bringing a junior. Now, is 16 and under free? Is that what I
Yeah,
Okay.
15 and under. 15 and
15
under.
under, okay.
Free. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about getting that online. Just show
Okay.
up, get you a ticket in the door.
Okay. And you do have a live auction as well, correct?
We do. So probably one of our biggest features as well. It's all online, CanadianGolfExpo.ca. And what that is that we list all the items in advance. I love watching people come with their charts and their graphs. They've got highlighted and they know exactly what the retail is. We list what the retail is before. It's exciting. So Todd Kierstead does it, comes down from Toronto just to do our auction. One on Friday night and one on late Saturday afternoon before the end of the show. And it's great to get some deals. Red Blacks are in there, some Senators stuff, as well as all the local golf courses and stays and plays. There's some great deals in there, but the entertainment alone, watching people go back and forth, and the excitement gets pretty excited for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And I guess I will see you on Friday.
Yes, that's right. You're on stage with Derek, but also I believe you're walking around, maybe doing some interviews with their exhibitors.
Exactly. Looking forward to it. So looking forward to a great show. And again, just one last plug of the website that people can go to.
Yeah. So CanadianGolfExpo.ca. Definitely check it out. Definitely get your tickets in advance. Everything that's at the show is on there. So ahead of time, you can plan out.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Look forward to it. And good luck to the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo this year.
Thanks again, Scott. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, there you go. Not too surprising. I mean, we have kind of interviewed Greg a few times around this time of year about the Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo. Why is that so freaking hard for me to
know.
No, I don't understand. It's not that hard. Ottawa-Gatineau Golf Expo.
Are you trying to combine it?
Ottawa-Gatineau. Anyway, yes. Great interview. I think from that we can pretty much summarize what is going to be happening at the Expo this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, you'll be helping out Derek McDonald on the seminar stage there with some golf instruction, and we'll be floating around over the course of the 2 days of the show. So, as we said before, feel free to say hi.
Yeah, already getting a few messages and DMs from people saying, "Hey, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there?" So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we'll be there. And we won't be incognito, but we will be without booth presence.
Yes, exactly.
So
it's all good. We'll see lots of people.
Flagstick.
Exactly.
Flagstick. I'll have some kind of logoed clothing on.
Same.
Cool. I'm kind of looking forward to, I mean, like I said, it's not really a kickoff to the golf season per se, but you kind of feel like that. It used to be that the spring edition of Flagstick magazine was the kickoff to the golf season.
Yeah.
But alas,
You can have content every day. You don't need to wait.
That's it. Flagstick Digest.
Yeah,
I subscribe to Flagstick Digest, people. What's wrong with you? It's free.
I think the biggest thing is that not everybody participates in golf related activities in the wintertime. So this is their opportunity to kind of get out of the house, get away from the TV, see some friendly faces, see some people that they know within the golf community, hang out with their golf buddies, because we certainly see a lot of foursomes show up, at the show, the kind of the regular groups and stuff like that. And yeah, so for a lot of people, it's that if they don't play indoor golf in the wintertime or get together for coffee or at their golf course or whatever the case may be, this is a good chance for them to get out and do a golf related activity and, kind of see some friends within the golf community. So I don't know. No comment on that.
I don't have any friends in the golf community. I wonder how many indoor golf locations are adopting the TGL league format for their own leagues.
I don't know if you'd see many. Actually, that's a funny thing to bring up, because one of the questions I hear when I'm at Celtic in Kingston is I hear people say, "Hey, is TGL bringing more people in to play simulator golf?" I'm like, "No, I don't know. Like, I don't hear people specifically say, "Hey, I was watching TGL. I want to come play some sim golf." I don't really connect the two. Maybe.
But isn't that the goal of TGL is to pull in that more potential golfers by using modern day technology to do that? Or is it the same? Is it the same audience just an audience that is more familiar with or more in tune with the indoor golf scene?
Maybe, but I don't specifically think, somebody watches TGL and says, "Let's go play indoor golf." Do you think? I mean, I don't hear that from anyone. I mean,
it's not the same.
It's true. No, that's what I mean, though.
It's not the same. Like there's so many aspects. I mean, most indoor golf that I know of, the putting is either turned off, or it's you putt the longer putts from a spot on the turf to the screen, and then the shorter putts are usually given, like there's a lot of gimmies, 2, 3, 4 footers and stuff like that.
8-foot gimmies.
You don't have this rotating, massive 2,000 square foot green with a bunker with bunkers and hills and stuff like that. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very cool, but you could not pull that off in indoor golf facilities because you got one green to satisfy every customer that's using a screen. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. But indoor golf, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Indoor golf is really more about a gathering of people to play, to extend the golf season. Yeah, when they cannot play outside. I mean, it's not really about trying to. Now, the simulators nowadays are very accurate when it comes to data that it pulls, but
it's not real golf.
No, it's like you're still not getting the same elements outside. That even if you say, "Oh, I want wind" or "I want rain," or there's a big difference between playing in the wind indoors and playing in the wind outside.
Sure. Yeah. It's gotten better and better. The technology's gotten better, but I mean, it's not transferable 100%. It's like the same that people keep they keep an index or a handicap, like a TrackMan handicap inside. It doesn't always relate to
a 5D golf simulator.
A what?
5D.
Okay. What's the,
well, you can have wind and rain and temperature control. You ever been to the Lego place in Vaughan?
Yeah, of course.
The Lego
the store?
Not the store, but
the experience.
The Lego experience. So the theater in there, they play a movie, and it's I think it's a 4D.
Yeah.
So it's a 4D movie theater. So you're sitting there. So you're like when your little cart comes across the waterfall, they spray mist from the. So
do you need a mister inside the
simulator? What you need a simulator that's in an enclosed room, so that when you set I want to play golf in Scotland and I want it to be windy and rainy, and they could turn on these high-powered fans.
Sure.
And you set the screen to 60-kilometer-hour winds, and then you turn on the air conditioning so that it's like, no, that's not. Is that
no,
the
it's
total
just the practical
golf experience?
Look, I will say the screen golf stuff. If you look at it in Asia, where it's super popular, and especially in like Korea, for an example, where there's more screen golf played than there is outdoor golf. I'll say
understandable.
Yeah, but if you look at it from land costs and stuff like that, it obviously is super popular. But there are simulators. I don't know if you've seen this one, for an example, where you actually hit your golf ball in the simulator, and then basically what happens is sort of like TGL. Then the screen comes up, and once you've hit your shot to get to the green, the screen comes up. You walk out, and then there's a green that's right there, and then you putt on that particular green, and then you go to the next simulator. And they actually have this big warehouse sort of facility, and they actually have.
So you go from simulator to simulator.
Yeah.
What a fa!
I don't know. There's all sorts of different things. There's literally we'll do a show sometime talking about it. Maybe in the fall when
that's insane.
Ramping up. But there's also ones that are based on, like, there's a couple of different really good films and stuff that are on them. But there are centers that are based on like emojis in Japan. Mm-hmm. Like they're just like there's a culture of emojis and different things, and they're based on that. So and so it's wild. You go into these places, they have massive, some of them have indoor bunkers, some of them have, cafes that are in them, some that have big restaurants. Like there's all sorts of different variations of it. And I think the difference is that, we haven't had any of that in North America, and we haven't seen the proof of concept of it. So what's happened is we progressively are seeing more and more, whether it's 5-iron down the States. I know a place down in the St. Louis area called the Gimme Golf Club, that they have everything from a barber shop to, lockers and stuff within their facility. It's a club. And what happens is that within their club, they also have an agreement with the city that's there, and they have multiple municipal golf courses. And this simulator facility is their golf club. It's basically they're based out of the club. All the people play it outside during the season, but they also have the access to the inside. And like I said, they have other amenities and services and stuff inside. People get together there to watch sports and stuff like that. So things are progressing definitely with them. I think it's just the idea and people willing to jump out and kind of do that. There has to be the proof of concept for other people to go, okay, all right, somebody's done it. It's been successful. I'll do it rather than taking the risk. So, but I could see definitely variations coming in the future, whether
that's
it's
cool.
4D, 5D, whatever, but
4D.
Definitely
I don't know what the 5. I don't know what the 5th
I don't know. I was trying to
be.
figure it out. Yeah, so we'll see some variations, and I think that's just sort of the evolution of what you're seeing. Just as we've seen this in TGL. I mean, if you thought about that, 10 years ago, would you have thought like the best players and the best male players in the world would be playing an indoor stadium on a Tuesday night or a Monday night, flying back from a tournament to play, a team game inside an indoor stadium in Florida?
No, I mean, I
probably wouldn't.
I still like the concept of what they're doing. I just think it's
execution, right?
It's to me, it's so big that it's almost too big for what simulator golf is. When you're used to seeing simulator golf and playing simulator golf on at the most, most people have maybe played it on a
16 by 10,
a 16 by 10 or a 20 by 20 by something like.
Yeah, they rarely get that.
And your ceiling, I mean, the ceilings are high, but these rooms that you go into for simulators, these areas that you go in to hit balls, they're dark. And then they're lit up where you're hitting, so that the screen is very bright and noticeable. I just find when you go into the SoFi Center,
you don't see the contrast.
No, you don't see the contrast. Massive screen, but it's so bright in there, and all the lights are flashing and stuff. And it's like, it needs to be. I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more intimate in the setting, so that it's more visual for the television audience. I mean, maybe it's more visual for the in-person audience than it is for the TV audience, because you're camera through camera, right? So
right, of course,
I'm sitting in the stadium watching. The screen is only 50 to 100 feet away from me. Maybe it's a lot easier to see and make this stuff out. But when you're so far away from the screen, like you're 70 feet or 70
I would,
meters. Yeah,
I would guess that most people are watching the swings of the players. When they go to look up at the screen, they're probably looking at the side screens, not the main screen, because the side screens tend to have more contrast, more definition and stuff to them. And so there's a lot of elements and things that are there. So yeah, I don't know if they're like tracking the ball. Again, it's hard to be perfect because there's so many different things you have to do, especially you're bringing in the live audience, you're the TV audience. Obviously the TV audience, they cut to the screen where they're showing the ball flight and whatever the case may be, but that's different than kind of inside. I think it's just difficult to you got to please a lot of masters, a lot of different elements here.
And I'm difficult to please, so
there you go. That's what your wife says.
That's borderline.
All right,
that's borderline right there.
Am I getting it out?
On that note, I think we're going to stop. I think we're going to stop for this week, so you can go on your little sojourn to Puerto Rico next week or whatever. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow, though.
Yes.
Well, we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, or for those listening today, we'll see you later today.
Yeah.
For those listening Saturday, we'll have seen you yesterday. Whatever. All right, that's enough for this week. Thanks to all of our sponsors this week: Metcalf Golf Club, Celtic Golf Center, and of course our presenting sponsor, Golf PEI. Golf Prince Edward Island is a premier Canadian golf destination boasting the most number of golf courses per capita in the country, with over 400 fairways closer than you can imagine, top-tier accommodations, and exquisite culinary experiences. It is the easiest golf vacation you will ever book, so go ahead and book it at golfpei.ca. Thanks to Greg Chambers for visiting with us briefly and talking about the big golf expo, and hope everybody gets a chance to get out there. Glad you've been watching the podcast, listening to the podcast. Be sure to follow us across all social media networks, Instagram, X, and Facebook, TikTok as well. Subscribe on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us and click the notification bell and make sure you never miss a single episode of this podcast or anything that we put up there, which includes the new Flagstick Academy indoor instruction series presented by Celtic Golf Center and filmed there as well. Get over to flagstick.com. More amazing golf content published every single day, and subscribe free of charge to the Flagstick Digest newsletter so that you can get all this great information dropped in your inbox 3 times a week. But as always, we appreciate you tuning in. Until next week, I'm Jeff Potter.
I'm Scott McLeod.
Always remember, go for the stick.